Usiridem Shamanem Shardum Yazamaidem, Zautarem Shamanem Shardum Yazamaidem, Avnanem Shamanem Shardum Yazamaidem, Atarvashem Shamanem Shardum Yazamaidem, Prabharatam Shamanem Shardum Yazamaidem, Bharatam Shamanem Shardum Yazamaidem, Asnatarem Shamanem Shardum Yazamaidem, Ratvishkaram Shamanem Shardum Yazamaidem, Sroshavarazem Shamanem Shardum Yazamaidem, Radhakiram Takamem Cham Shamanem Shardum Yazamaidem, Sroshamangem Cham Varacha Rocham Yazamaidem, Anagra Rocham Yazamaidem, Yaprasangam Cham Katram Yazamaidem, Yanar Sadram Drevato, Aitavarazam Shamanem Shardum Yazamaidem, Aparamcha Kesha Yazamaidem, Aitavarazam Shamanem Shanos Ding Yazamaidem, Yasni Paiti Shapning Yasavar Dabio, Zabravio, Documerato, Yasnai Jab, My Jam, Document Jam, Shamanem Shardum Yazamaidem, Mamatrem Auruzam, Putrem Shamanem Shardum Yazamaidem, Natazatrem Adavium Ganemat, Parisma Sham Prastartem, Naptarem Yazamaidem, Nadim Sangam Yazamaidem, Takmem Damo Shabam Nem Yusupem Yazamaidem, Ilistanam Urano Yazamaidem, Yao Shanam Kroshio, Ratum Berezantem Yazamaidem, Aurimazam, Yoshab Nodamam, Yoshab Mustamam, Vispa Sraval Zatush Yazamaidem, Vispa Chavashtam, Shok Yazamaidem, Vashta Chavashamanacham, Yengyadam Matyasne Padivam Gomsta Uro Paita Sharacha, Yangam Cham Tashcham Tauscha Yazamaidem, Yadao Vaidyo Mataradu Sashanchi the Jam Yosh the Salmaningo Shotinam Yosh Mazai Shatring Cham Raya Indrigo Yom Dervastarem Yatao Vaidyo Mataradu Sashanchi the Jam Vagyush the Salmaningo Shotinam Yosh Mazai Shatring Cham Raya Indrigo Yom Dervastarem This name Cham Amim Cham the Cham Zavre Cham Frinamin Bereza dobre na fedra pama pasham zdatyam shembo vaistavastim ustastim ustamai yershai vaistai shain Amairas sham karnas sham maitanom rabatatem amaitanom vastavare amaitanom veritrem Amaishtim pavrushkatram amaistam chit vazanti amaidarigam darigozitim Amai vaistem om shonam prochankem dispokatrem Shembo vaistem astim ustastim ustamai yershai vaistai shain Hazangem Beshezanam, Bevere Beshezanam, Hazangem Beshezanam, Bevere Beshezanam, Hazangem Beshezanam, Bevere Beshezanam, Shembo Vaistamasti, Ustasti, Ustamai, Yershai, Vaistai, Shain. Jasamevan Gemazdao, Jasamevan Gemazdao, Jasamevan Gemazdao, Amem Taste, Rode, Verakadane, Haudate, Bankyosho, Patato. Vashankadate, Zarvane, Karne, Zarvane, Derego Kadate, Shembo, Vaistamasti, Ustasti, Ustamai, Yershai, Vaistai, Shain. Namasata Atash, Mazdao, Rodao, Zistam, Vizitao, Shnau, Trauram, Zdao, Shembo, Vaistamasti, Ustasti, Ustamai, Yershai, Vaistai, Shain. Shembo, Vaistamasti, Ustasti, Ustamai, Yershai, Vaistai, Shain. Hashem Vai Vaistamasti, Ustasti, Ustamai, Yershai, Vaistai, Shain. Ravarane Mazias knows that those streets with their Kesho. Uziridayim Shaune, Sharathris, Night Job, My Job, Snow Bright Job, Sesti Job. Radha Right Dekhi My Job, Shaune, Sharathris, Night Job, My Job, Snow Bright Job, Sesti Job. Adro Rimazdao, Putram, Tamatash, Putro Rimazdao. Shnautra Snaicham, Maicham, Snautra Sasnicham, Yatai Vayo, Zotam, from Imrudan, Yatarato, Shashachi, the Jam, Rashudva Proto, Isnimcha, Omincho, Berdincho, Sabedincha, Vantabedincha, Prinami, Avatash, Sutravramazdao, Yasna Hivamyo, Yasna Vyavamyo, Mano Mashaknam, Mustabya Yamainai. Yasay Kuban, Frizai Desmadasto, Parismadasto, Kalasasto, Vanasasto, Daikas Mabiao, Daikavabiao, Daikabibiao, Daikavasnabiao, Veranaya Shartrabiao, Damaya Shartrabiao, Atash Putra Ramazdao, Soche Biamyamane, Matsoche Biamyamane, Roche Biamyamane, Vakshade Biamyamane, Deregem Chite Bizarvanem, Pasuram, Prashokeritim, Hadasuryam, Bungyam, Shokeretoi, Deyam Yatash, Putrauram Down, Masukatrem, Masutraitim, Masuzitim, Paurukatrem, Paurutraitim, Paurujitim, Mastim Svanos, Videm, Isvamur, Noshakardom, Pashetam Asit Mazontem, Padiatrem, Nayam, Pashetam Paritim, Aretva Zangam Kafnyam, Trishamastam Cham, Shabnam Chasitam Ratum Sagaurum, Tutrusham Asam Presentim, Karsharazam Yaknam, Amrodam Vabam, Azobazima Viram Yam Efradial, Manim Cham, Visem Cham, Satum Cham, Takim Cham, Dangusastim Cham, Yam Yatash, Putraurim is down, Yam Yam Vedafrasangam, Rem Chavich Taite, Vaistemon, Shaunam, Rochan, Games for Katrem, Zazabim is Devon Gaucham, Sravavernacham, Derigavim Game, Vismabio, Sastim, Paradiatash, Mazal, Horing, Gabium Chaitem, Shafnim Cham, Sweetim Cham, Vismabio, Chazaito, Bertim Cham, Stubertim Cham, Vantabertim Cham, Svitamam, Vismanam, Parjarentam, Adas, Jasradidiam, Chumakashe, Paradim, Fracharator, Shaideng, Adrem Svetamizamaideng, Takamantem, Ratistarem, Advidishem, Paritiesmem, Parismavashyam, Frastaritem, Urvaram, Vadanepakam, Ipasheta, Friniting, Akash, Mazdam, Horeng, Shnutat, Bistog, Dangum, Upatok, Shoit, Yerushvatvo, Paveranam, Paradam, Shapata, Veziticham, Anovares, Vaticham, Akshoy Dango, Vaksham, Gatigation, Tau Shapno, Yauzavaimat, Atra Frivaning, Yoma Esmem, Pariti, Kushra, Josh, Parishna, Shay, Berezios, Dadam. Yatai Vedyam, Watarados, the Shao, Chi, the Chow, and Gyosh, the Salman and Gosh, Shouteranam, and Gyosh, Mazdai. Shakrim Cha Hurai, I am Derikobium, Derbastarim, Yata, Huayam, Mataradu, Shashao, Chita Chow, Wangyosh, the Zabmaningo, Shoutenam, Gyosh Mazdai, Shakrim Cha Hurai, I am Derikobium, Derbastarim, Yasnim Cha, Wamem Chazas, Davari Cha Frinami, Atro is down, Putram, the Matash, Putram is down. Adatwatra Amara Tatra Ratam Nemango Shembohi Vaistamasti Ustasti Ustamai Yerushai Vaistai Shem Amayasha Karnasha Maitano Prabhatatem Amaitano Vasavari Amaitano Veritre Amayishtim Paurusha Kamayas Namchi Fasantim Maidarigam Derigozitim Amay Vaistem Om Shonam Rajan Gambis Pakatre Osmoy Zarishva Aura my Tintation, the spouse finished now. My name is Davan Gamzavada, Shazem, but Bowman and Gabseratom. The fate I bought to Shane, Doshimoya baby from Takshatra, Aura Yamangosha Shishman and Go. Rosman Dynamite and shot in out Rexion. Akratam Zartusro, the Mercy, Kikaus and Enterati, covered that them. Manangas Chav, Gyosh Mazdai, Shaknasha, Jogda Chang, Shroshem, Shatrim Chang. Usmai, Uzarishva, Aura, my Tintation, the song is finished down. My name is Davan Gamzavada, Shazem, but Bowman and Gabseratom. Afraid I bought to Shane, Doshimoya baby from Takshatra, Aura, Yamangosha, Shishman and Go. Rosvindar Maite Shadinam Flexion, Atratam Tatusro, Tanvasik Kyaus with them. The Rati Pavratatem, Manangascha, Vangyosh Mazdaim, Shaknasha, Chokdekya Cham, Shroshem Chatrim Cham. Usmoy, Zarishwa, Aura, Mighty, Deshin, the Spouse, finished down, my name is down, Vangyosh the Valdam. Shazem, but Roman and Gabseratom. Afraid drive over to Shane, Doshimaya, baby from Takshatra, Aurayam, Gyosha, Shishman and Go. Rosman, Dharmaita, Shadinam, Fradakshyam, Atratam, Zatusro, Tanvasti, Kakaus, the name, the writing, Bavratatem, Manangascha, Vangyosh Mazdai, Shadnasha, Chautakacham, Shroshem, Shatrim Cham. Shembo, Wastamasti, Ustasti, Stamai, Yershai, Wastai, Shame. Azangan Bishazanam, Bebere Bishazanam, Hazangek Beshezanam, Bevere Beshezanam, Hazangek Beshezanam, Bevere Beshezanam, Shembo Vaistamasti, Ustasti, Ustamai, Shai, Vaistai, Shem. Jasamevan give us thou, Jasamevan give us thou, Jasamevan give us thou. Amemutaste, Vrode, Veragragane, Auradate, Vantyosto, Batato, Vashe Kadate, Zarvane, Karne, Zarvane, Darinko Kadate, Shembo Vaistamasti, Ustasti, Ustamai, Yad Shai, Vaistai, Shem. Firuzban Kora Avizavedin Mazdias now. Firuzban Kora Avizavedin Mazdias now. Firuzban Kora Avizavedin Mazdias now. Shemai Vaistamasti, Ustasti, Ustamai, Yad Shai, Vaistai, Shem. Beresan Vindirat Anushal, Bakshnude Dadar Aurmans, Rayoman Dukarman, Bakshnude Avamishas Mandane, Firuzgar. Bakshnude Dine Park yes down, Bakshnude Ashoravane, Zatushaswan, and Oshiravan, Bakshnude Ormazava Gaise Spesham, Bakshnude Baman Mount Goshram, Bakshnude Adibes Bulan Vadar Saroshvaraj Peram, Bakshnude Sharavar Kurme Asman and Neram, Anagra Roshan Gaipadam, Bakshnude Aspandar Aban Dinar Marisbaum. Bakshnude Kodam Testarban Forwarding, Bakshnude Amardar Rasnasta Jamyaun, Bakshnude Roje, Jamyad Yazad, Wamae, Kodad Yazad, Bakae Uziran, Atas Beram Nyais, Bazirafte, Aurmaz, the Bamashas Pandan Bao, Ayare Viham Rasau, Shaune, Shempai, Vaistamasti, Ustastin, Ustamai, Yadashai, Vaistai, Shem.
نام اورمزواجیم منش خوب داریم همگی سروا پوشیم همگی نماز بکریم به دادار اورمزد رایومند و خرومند دهن یابن کیا بافه توش برساد به دهمان و بهان آفرین نام اورمز یتا ابو بیرود و اشم بهوسه گاه ازیرن آفریندان دهمان انوششم به روان برساد اما روانان و فرابهران اشوان هستان و بیدان و زادان و برزادان اشکی و مرستا بستوشان سپیروزگر اما برسان و بپذیران و بنیوشان آخرین گفتار بین به وزند و زیان و تلخه و غم همه عواج داشتار بین از این رفته اورمزم شاسپندان با به یاره بهان رساد و زنشن اهریمن و دیوان شد برت روان هما روانان و فربهران اشبان برساد ای دریاد باد انوش روان روان بهتین مهربان بهتین شاه بود ای دریاد باد انوش روان روان بهتین رستم بهتین بهمن ای دریاد باد انوش روان روان بهتین مروارید بهتین رستم ای دریاد باد انوش روان روان بهتین پروین بهتین شاه بود ای دریاد باد انوش روان روان بهتین کیخسرو بهتین شاه بود ای دریاد باد انوش روان روان بهتین شیرین بهتین کیخسرو اومت و هوخت و هوش نام ایزد یتاهو بری و تارتو ششاچی تچا ونکه اشت از دامن کش شود ننامن کش نزدایی شطرنچا اهورایی آیم دلی دوبی و ددت باز دارم یتاهو بری و تارتو ششاچی تچا ونکه اشت از دامن کش شود ننامن کش نزدایی شطرنچا اهورایی آیم دلی دوبی و ددت باز دارم اشم بهو و هیشتمستی هوشتا استی هشتا احمانی یاد شایی و هیشتایی اشم بهو و هیشتمستی هوشتا استی هشتا احمانی یاد شایی و هیشتایی اشنبه بهیشتنستی اوشتا استی اوشتا احمانیت شوی بهیشتای اشم ربران مزدی اسنون زرتوش ریش بیده و رزکشو وزیرین آمشدت به یسنون چه و منچه نوترای چه پرسسته چه رادت بیدایی دهیومایی چه اشان شرف یسنانی چه و منچه نوترای چه پرسسته چه دهنی آون کباف توش اورایی دامونی شوفمنایی شناوت را یسنایی چه و منچه نوترای چه پرسسته چه یتاو بیتیو زوتا فرام مروته اتارت ششاچی اچف را شب ویزا مروتو تا بهمین هون جمیارش یا شاونا شنوتسچه اشیسچه بیا بیشچه پیتی زنتیسچه روسما انتاری بیس جمیار نشمچه شدرمچه سلسچه خیلنسچه خاطرمچه در غفرت مدرمچه انتا دهنیا یتاوی سرطوشیش اسیستن و انکتا چلتیست روش بوداد اسیستن نشه شاونو او در سیستویش کهیشو جانیومیت را شاونو بنگوی سوداش کنتا فرداشایو اشویش بیش از انچی نام زن فرتن پدانو براو جنگ تا اوباره برزنگ تا ایشی بنگ تن تان پیتیش تاته آتنام رش بخشیایی و یامچه خیلن کامچه رینی تحمین نمونه سروش اسروشتیم آشتیش اناشتیم رایتیش ارایتیم آرمیتیش ترومیتیم افشوخ صباش نهتختن باشیم اشد روجم یکنین شاوش بنتاس روشا تشیاو خیتیشان بنتوش یسناس چه بماس چه بو یسنم چه بمین چه بو برتین چه اوشتا برتین چه بنتا برتین چه او دقیقات خوابیرات ما یادتیمت نمانم خاط رود پره نفرز وزدی ما خاط رویدیش دیش ما خاط رویدی آسنا پرزندیش خاط و پیس پیدی اشویش شبهن رویاد درغم حخمه اشنبه بهیشتنستی اوشتا استی وشتا احمانیت شای بهیشتای اشنبه بهیشتنستی اوشتا استی وشتا احمانیت شای بهیشتای اشنبه بهیشتنستی اوشتا استی وشتا احمانیت شای بهیشتای آفرینامی شتریان دنگ و پیکی و پرایی احمای و پرایی برترای و پرایی شترای شترم چه هجشتیم چه در و شترم شتره در بوجیتی مشتانه در وقتاتم تنوبیو همین تاشته مورادم برتقنم چه اورداتم بنینتیم چوکراتاتم اوروش باشتیم تلیشیم تام پیدی جایتیم شوش میدنام حترانی دایتیم همرتنام اوروتنام تلیشیم تام آفرینامیه و نوا نکش نبوده بیش به موربتن تلیشیم تام بیش به مردم تلیشیم تام ارتیو منکم ارتیو بچنکم ارتیو شاوتنم و نبوده رتیم منکم رتیه بچنکه رتیه شاوتنم نیجنه بوده بیش به روش نیوه بیش به ده یسنم زده بوی بانکا اوچا میشته بانکا اوچا سربهی اولو نبچه درغه بانکه آفرینامیه درغه جبه اوشتا جبه بانک نرام شاورام اوزنک دوش برشتا برزام و هیشته معام شاورا چند که بیس بو خاطره حتی جمعیات آفرینامی بومتنام بوختنام برشتنام یده جنت شو برزننام چا با برزننام چا نهی ایدی در تارو ننستارو یتناوهونام نهی بومتنام بوختنام برشتنام یده جنت شو برزننام چا با برزننام چا نهی ایدی در تارو ننستارو یتناوهونام نهی یتاهوه یتارت ششاچی اچا ونکه هشت از دامن هشت اول نمون که هشت از دایی شکرم چا اورایی آویم بره بودی و برد باستارم شنبه بهشت مستی اوشتا استی اوشتا احمان یدشای رهیشتای اشم یتاهوه یتارت چشاوچی هچا ونکه اوشت زامن کوشا و منامن که اوش مزدایی شطرنچا اهورایی آلیم بریگوی ولد باستارم یتاهوه یتارت چشاوچی هچا ونکه اوشت زامن کوشا و منامن که اوش مزدایی شطرنچا اهورایی آلیم باستارم یسنچا ونچا و جسچا زبرچا آفرینامی در نیاون کو باقی کوش کورایی دامونی شوکمنایی اشم بابا هیچنسی اوشتا اسی اوشتا احمانی و لشای بهیشتایی اشم
یزدان بنابال دیر جیشاد بال یتا هویریان و تاردو ششاو چید چاو وانگه اوش دزداو مننگوش شاوته دنام وانگه اوش مزای شاتریم چا اوبرای آگیم درگویو ددت واستاریم یتا هویریو و تاردو ششاو چید چاو وانگه اوش دزداو مننگوش شاوته دنام وانگه اوش مزای شاتریم چا اوبرای آگیم درگویو ددت واستاریم Dan darosti devzi vashni avayan karyangar shaydao Yazdane minovan yazdane gitiyan Haftam shas bandan yazdaroshan nam bersao Inka baut Hame andam kasanram zartush dik shadbao Edun bound, Yavarin Kadawan de Alam Round, Manjuman Round, Shawar Zavan Round, Dastur Beshadan Round, Egamba Shadar Round, Oshadar Naround, Oshadar Bami Round, Socios Round, Yanik Ekosh Round, Bacha Round, Dine Zartushri Round, Samastan Juman Round, Bound Farzan down, Hazar Sal, Dev Bedar, Shad Bedar, Tandarost Bedar, Edon Bedar, Bar Sare Arzaniam, Salare Vishar, Vakanai Vishumam, Bakiwa Bain Dedar, Hazar Afrin Bao, Sal Possessed Bao, Rose Farok Bao, Ma Mubarak Bao, Chandin Sal, Chandin Rob, Chandin Mam, Bishar Sal, Arzani down, Yadeshne, Vanyashne, Varani, Vazor, Parasne Shaydar, Avaramakarom, Kefehao, Tandarosti Bao, Neki Bao, Pupao, Edom Tarat Vad, Vayazdan, Vamshas, Mandam, Kamibao, Shembo, Vestamasti, Ostamai, Yadashai, Vestai, Hashem. We will now observe a moment of silence in the memory of the departed souls and also remember the Guiv family. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Vijan, please.
سپاسگزارم.
کیشان از همه شما به خاطر حضورتون در مراسم امروز سپاسگزاریم. Thank you all for being here today. Your presence means a great deal as we honor the Guiv family, whose generosity has had a lasting impact on our community. Their kindness has touched many lives, and we are truly grateful. It's wonderful to see so many of you here, reflecting the strength and unity of our community. Just a few days ago, we marked 46 years since this building was gifted to the Zoroastrian community of Ontario, a place generations have cherished. Let us continue to honor his legacy and work toward a brighter future. And thank you to the ZSO team for maintaining this space well. Thank you all for your continued support. Thank you. Thank you. I would like to take a few minutes to say a very short biography of Arbab Rustam Guiv. Arbab Rustam Guiv was born in 1888 in Yazd. His mother's name was Kharman and his father was Shapur. Arbab Rustam completed his education and learned English language in Yazd. In 1939, Arbab Guiv was elected as the Zoroastrian representative in Iranian National Assembly after the death of Khosrow Shah Rukh. He founded Guiv Charity Foundation in 1958 for supporting people in need. He was also selected as a senator of the Iranian Senate in 1963 due to his charity work for the Iranian people. Part of his endowment inside of Iran, Rostam Bagh, which is a large apartment complex located in Tehran Park, suburb of Tehran. Abambar, construction of a 4,000 cubic meter capacity Abambar, a type of water reservoir in Yazd, to provide clean and safe water for people. Building schools. Arbab Rustam Guiv has built several schools in Iran, including Guiv's Elementary School, Ustad Khudabakhshi Elementary School, and Ustad Pur Dawood Elementary School, constructed for boys and girls in Tehran. He has donated 15,000 square meters of land to the Ministry of Education in Damavand County, Tehran. Part of his endowment outside of Iran. A few months before the Iranian Revolution in 1978, Arbab Rustam and his wife immigrated to the United States, where he established his charity foundation. They donated $4 million, which is now about $15 million, toward the building of Zoroastrian charities all over the world, including New York City, Chicago, Toronto, Vancouver, and Sydney, Australia.
How's everyone doing this evening? I didn't hear anyone. That's it. So, you know, the reason we're all gathered today here is to be in memory and respect of Rustam Guiv and the Guiv family, who provided this beautiful community center for us actually to get together as a community, to build support for each other. So that's so wonderful to see so many faces out here today in memory of the Guiv family. And I'd also like to thank the RGFO, the Rustam Guiv trustees. I'm not sure if you're all aware who are part of these. You just heard Bijan speak. We've got Masha Amarallah. We have Kushut Harapur. We have Turaj Rahnamun, who unfortunately is unwell to attend today. And they are actually hosting us this evening with a beautiful catered dinner available after this. Again, yes. So again, so lovely to see so many faces. Thank you for coming out, and hope to see more of you during the summer.
Hello, good evening, everyone. And on behalf of Bijan and my esteemed directors on our GFO board, my name is Masha, and I'd like to thank you all for being here tonight. If I may, on behalf of our GFO, request our past president, and thank you, Mitra, for the lovely introduction. I'd like to request our past president, Rusi Surti, to come up and say a few words.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And it's so nice to see all of us here on this auspicious occasion in memory of the deceased members of the Guiv family. I think it is very important that we try to understand the impact of the donation that has been made to the RGFO, which has enabled the Zoroastrian Society of Ontario to have its manifold and several activities over these past many years and in the years to come. One can judge it by the numbers. Back in 1980, Ervad Rostam Guiv, in memory of Mehbad Guiv, donated a sum of US dollars 600,000. That enabled us, or enabled the foundation to purchase this property. Now, if we go by property values since 1980 to this date, I just Googled and tried to get some numbers. The property values have gone up 14 times in the past 46 years. Therefore, the value of those US dollars 600,000 today would be about $8.5 million. That is equivalent to almost $12 million Canadian. Now, I'm not saying that this property value is $8 or $12 million. I don't know. It depends on many factors. Real estate agents would know better. I'm not sure if the board of directors of RGFO have ever tried to take or taken a market value of the property. But it is undoubtedly a very large sum of money for sure. Certainly a large, very large value. What is more important than the numbers or the dollar value, I think we need to reflect on the circumstances that existed back in 1980 or 1970s when the Zoroastrians started coming to North America. Many of us may be knowing, many of you may be knowing, that those of us who came from India, for example, there were very tight foreign exchange regulations, and we were allowed to come out with only 8 or 10 US dollars. So a family of 4 came out with 40 US dollars. Many of them came, some of them came as students, some of them came as individuals, some of them came with young families, and they had to find their way out here to settle down in the GTA. I'm talking about Ontario, to settle down largely in the GTA. And there were difficult circumstances. They did not have the money at that time to donate large sums of money. I believe there was a time in the late 70s, an attempt was made to collect some donations, and people were requested to pledge $1,000 Canadian. That was a large amount of money. I believe they collected about $20,000, but $20,000 could not get them anyway, and for whatever reasons, they broke up, and all the money or the pledges were refunded or cancelled. So it was under those difficult circumstances that Ervad Guiv donated the amount of $600,000 that enabled us, or enabled the Zoroastrian Society of Ontario, which by that time was quite active, but small in numbers, maybe 300 or 400 Zartushtis, mainly at that time in the 70s, from India and Pakistan. And they would have their activities in the basements of churches or in schools by paying small amounts of rent. Did not have this property and this beautiful place that enables us to have so many functions, right from children to scouts, to religion education for children, to right up to seniors, Qanun activities and so on. And more importantly, it has kept all us Zartushtis, whether we are from India, Pakistan, called Parsis, or whether we are from Iran, who came largely after the revolution, to be together under one roof. It is. If in those difficult times that the immigrants, the Zartushti immigrants, who came, some even came as refugees, if they had tried to even gather together donations, it would have been very difficult. It would have taken a long time, by which time property values would have kept on increasing, and perhaps we would never have had the funds to have a place like this. So let us all be very grateful to the Guiv family, not only for this donation. Some of us are aware that on different occasions over the years, the board of directors of the ZSO have approached the Guiv family for some further donations, for some further activities, and the Guiv family has never refused a single request for a donation. For all this, we are very grateful, and it is befitting that the board of our GFO should have this annual occasion on the 16th of June. Let us mark it down in our calendars for the coming year and for the following year, please. It is very important that we assemble in large numbers to pay our respects to the deceased members of the Guiv family who have so very generously donated to our community and enabled us to enjoy this beautiful place. Thank you.
Thank you, Rusi. May I now request Giti Bamanyan to come up and say a few words, please?
به روان پاک همه درگذشتگان. خوشا به حال آنان که خوب زیستند و نام نیک از خود به یادگار گذاشتند. ارباب رستم گیو متولد 1267 شمسی در شهر یزد و در سن 92 سالگی در کالیفرنیا درگذشتند. ارباب رستم گیو در سال 1337 شمسی 68 سال قبل برای گسترش مؤسسات خیریه و بهره‌مندی بیشتر محرومان تأسیس کرد. گستره جغرافیایی موقوفات رستمی شهرهای یزد، تهران، شاهی، دماوند و در خارج از ایران، آمریکا، کانادا و استرالیا را شامل می شود. دامنه فعالیت‌های وقفی وی
ساخت آبانبار، ایجاد توسعه و حمایت از مراکز آموزشی و رفاهی و بهداشتی و درمانی، تالارهای اجتماع و مجتمعهای مسکونی ویژه افراد نیازمند، ایجاد آدوریان در به مهر، توسعه آرامگاه‌ها، کمک‌های مالی به افراد و نهادها و سازمان‌ها، حمایت از چاپ و نشر و توسعه نشر و امور پژوهشی استوار بود. در قدیم مردم بیشتر در روستاها زندگی می‌کردند و آنچه در روستاهای زرتشتی نشین بیشتر به چشم می‌خورد، معبد، مدرسه و آبانبار، هر سه با هم بودند. معبد برای نیایش و ستایش اهورامزدا و روشن نگاه داشتن آتش، مدرسه برای رشد فکری و آگاهی کودکان، آبانبار برای داشتن آب سالم. ارباب رستم گیو رستمباغ را در سال 1336 شمسی، یعنی 69 سال قبل، برای کمک به و اسکان خانواده‌های نیازمند زرتشتیان در تهران پارس ساخت. مجموعه رستمباغ که 25,000 متر مربع وسعت دارد، دارای ساختمان‌های مسکونی، تالارهای گردهمایی، 2 دبستان، زمین ورزش، کتابخانه و معبد. وقتی با دقت به این مجموعه نگاه می‌کنید، نمادهایی از همبستگی اجتماعی و پرورش فکری و توانایی جسمی در آن می‌یابید. آن وقت است که در دل به بنیانگذار آن، یعنی ارباب رستم گیو، آفرین گفته و درود می‌فرستید. اما راجع به درمهر مهربان گیو در تورنتو، در اوایل ورودم به تورنتو با کسانی که در خرید زمین آن مورد مشورت ارباب رستم گیو بودند مواجه شدم و دریافتم که چقدر ارباب رستم گیو در مورد محل و وسعت آن وسواس به خرج می‌داده است که بالاخره این محل را پسندیده و آن را وقف جامعه زرتشتیان تورنتو کرده است. این محل به تدریج بر حسب نیاز جامعه ساخته شده و رشد کرده. محل نیایش، سالن پذیرایی، کلاس‌های درس دینی، پیشاهنگی، کلاس‌های موسیقی، اتاق کنفرانس و کتابخانه و چندین اتاق دیگر که هنوز چندان مورد استفاده قرار نگرفته. همچنین آشپزخانه و باغ اطراف برای بازی کودکان میباشد. وقتی وارد این محوطه و ساختمان میشویم، با خود میاندیشیم اگر این مکان نبود چگونه میتوانستیم گرد هماییم، همبسته شویم و به کمک یکدیگر زندگی بهتری داشته باشیم. آن وقت است که بار دیگر آفرین به این انسان نیکوکار و نیکاندیش میگویید و درود به روان پاکش میفرستید.
Hi everyone, so I'm just going to try and quickly summarize what my aunt just, if I can figure this out, just explain about Arbab Rostam Guiv. So the Rostam Guiv Foundation was established in 1958, so 68 years ago, to to expand charitable institutions and further benefit the deprived. The geographical scope of Rostam Guiv's endowments include the cities of Yazd, Tehran, Shahi, Damavand, and outside of Iran in America, Canada, England, and Australia. The scope of his endowment activities was the construction of water reservoirs, the development and support of educational, welfare, and health centers, community halls, and residential complexes for individuals in need. The creation of Adorian de Darbemer, the developments of tombs, financial institutions to assistant to individuals, institutions, and organizations, and the support of printing and publishing and research affairs. In the old days, when people lived mostly in villages, what was most visible in Zoroastrian villages was the temple, the school, the water reservoirs. All three were together. Temple for praying and praising Ahura Mazda and keeping the fire burning, school for the intellectual development and awareness of children, water reservoirs for clean drinking water. Arbab Rostam Guiv built Rostam Bagh in 1957 in Tehran, Iran, to help accommodate needy Zoroastrian families in Tehran Pars. The Rostam Bagh complex covers an area of 250,000 square feet. It has residential buildings, assembly halls, 2 elementary schools, a sports field, a library, and a temple. When you look carefully at this collection, you will find symbols of social solidarity, intellectual development, and physical ability. It is then that in your heart you say, "Well done," and send your greetings to its founder, Arbab Rostam Guiv. But about the Mehraban Guiv Darbemer in Toronto. Early in her arrival, my aunt, who she just spoke, encountered those who had been consulted by Arbab Rostam Guiv in purchasing the land and realized how much he had been obsessed with the location and its size, that he'd finally liked this place and dedicated it to the Ontario Zoroastrian community. This place has gradually been built and grown according to the needs of the community. There is a prayer room, a reception hall, religious classes, scouting, music classes, a conference room, a library, and other rooms which are not used much. When we enter this area and building, we think to ourselves, what if this place did not exist? How could we come together, unite, and help each other live better lives? It is then that you once again congratulate this well-meaning person and send his blessings to his pure soul. Thank you.
Thank you for those nice words. May I now request our former ZSO president, Darius Barucha, to come up and say a few words, if he will.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank the trustees of the RGFO for hosting us this evening. I want to thank the board of the ZSO for helping host this evening. Much has been said about Arbab Guiv's munificence, charity, generosity, and spirit. We all know that. We experience that by being here. It's not a matter of debate. It's a fact. And we honor that memory every year. Ladies and gentlemen, in my opinion, no one is gone till they are forgotten. And the Guiv family is always remembered. We owe them a debt of gratitude. And I'm not going to speak much about Erbab's past, as we all know, or go into stories about Dr. Sarfay when he was here, but I'm going to talk to you things that my opinion has been solicited about. And that is the relationship between RGFO and ZSO. That relationship is a symbiotic relationship. One needs the other, and both are important. We think of Erbab's generosity, but in the time that I chose to be president, it was the genius of the structure that he had set up that resonated with me. Take a simple example. This place is open to all Zartustis. You don't have to be a member of the ZSO to come here to commune with the divine. As long as you're a Zartusti or you respect Zartustri ways and traditions, you are welcome to be here. Think about how long back that was set up and how relevant it is today in a society in which many of our families welcome people who are non-Zartusti. It required foresight. Not just charity, but great foresight. And here's the other piece, to make a very long story short, in terms of how do we view this relationship. And keep in mind, this is my way of viewing it. You may choose to agree with it, you may not. You're entitled to do that. But I see the structure between the RGFO and the ZSO pretty much in the same light as I see the Government of Canada. The RGFO functions as the Governor General. The ZSO functions as the Parliament of Canada. So, activities, things that are done here are at the discretion of the ZSO as the leaseholder for 999 years. Think about that, friends. 999 years. Our children's 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 children will still enjoy the munificence and the facilities. Here's where the genius of the structure lies. When you have the RGFO functioning, in effect as the Governor General, just by way of example, what you prevent from happening is rogue decisions. You prevent tyranny from happening. And you prevent things being done against the interest of the community at large. That's the role the RGFO plays. They don't interfere in the daily operations of the ZSO. ZSO is free to do whatever it wants. But in terms of maintaining Erbab Guiv's vision, in terms of maintaining that symbiotic relationship, I think it's a darn good way to do it. After all, we've seen examples to the south of us when there are no guardrails on power. So to all my friends who solicit my opinion, I can tell you that I think the setup is genius. And we have to recognize that. And we have to extend what we need to do within that structure. ZSO is pretty much free to do whatever they want. I mean, I was president during some of the most turbulent times in ZSO's history, and at no stage did the RGFO say, no, you can't do this. When the community said, we want to renovate the center, they were like, sure, we're behind you. When it fell apart, they were there to pick up the pieces and to be that steadying influence. So it is important that we reflect with a long-term view and with the lessons of history and the lessons of what we are seeing today, that we need to maintain this symbiotic structure. And we need to acknowledge not just the generosity of Guiv family, but their wisdom in keeping this a community place. So ladies and gentlemen, when you think of Arbab Guiv, don't just think of Arbab Guiv as the philanthropist. Think of him also as somebody who embodied the Zoroastrian principle of wisdom. Wisdom to look down the road and see what would be best for his community. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the insightful words, Daraz, and well said, as always. I'd now like to invite our Mehbad Dastur, if he would like to say a few words.
Good evening, everybody. It's really nice to see everybody present over here in large numbers. Over the years, since I've been in Canada, and for many years, we've always celebrated Guiv family prayers. But it's always been in the Dadga room. And only half of the room has been filled up. It's nice to see the hall filled up over here. And as our past president, Surti also said, the date, June 16th, is the date that we celebrate Guiv family prayers every year. For what the family did and what the family has given, we wouldn't have had this particular place. This is a place where we come to pray to keep the Zarathustra religion alive. Yes, we've come over here for a party. We've come over here for happy occasions. We've come over here for sad occasions. This has been the place where a lot of people's lives have been touched many times. My also sincere request is, it is nice to leave something behind for your community. And as Darius also said, it's the word community. Without the word calm and no unity, there will be no community. So it is very essential that we respect. And I feel very thankful that today, Mehbad, Bahram, Varajavand, and myself were standing up on the stage together and praying together. Yes, our pronunciations as prayers can be different from the Iranian side of view or from the Parsi point of view. But standing together and praying together, it shows that we are together. Let's not have those differences separate us. Keep that community spirit alive. We will grow in numbers. Zoroastrians will grow. Zoroastrians. We are a community that understands. We have people come over here. Just keep our community spirit alive. And also, lastly, before I end, I understand this is for our Guiv family prayer. And as our Zoroastrian community has grown, We also have a new Zoroastrian Daramir coming up in Oakville, OZCF. There is going to be a grand opening on August 2nd. It's during the long weekend. If you all have not registered, I'm just promoting in a way, keep that Zarathustri flame alive in ourselves and the whole community. Tandarusti to all, and thank you for being over here. Thank you.
Sorry, I want to correct something regarding this place. The money was donated from nephew of Arbab Rustam Guiv, Mehbad Guiv, and he put this money on behalf of his nephew Mehbad Guiv. That's why the name is Mehbad Guiv.
Thank you very much for, first of all, our dear Mobeds, Bahram, Varajavand, and Mehbad Dastur for the wonderful prayers. You allow us to celebrate this day in honor of the memory of the departed Guiv family members whose generosity our community enjoys. Thank you. Thank you to all of you for being here. Thank you to our President, Bijan, for hosting this evening's proceedings. A very big thank you to Mitra Jam and her ZSO board for their support at all times. And a very big thank you to our past presidents, Rusi and Darius, for making time and sharing their insights with us. Always a pleasure to hear them both speak. And a big thank you to Ms. Giti and her kind niece for sharing their wisdom and their knowledge with us. With that, in order for the community to grow, it has to be a nourishing, though simple dinner, and I will not stand in the way of that. So thank you all, and please enjoy the dinner that we've put together, and we hope you keep coming back. Thank you.